everyone, welcome to ENTECHONLINE, Explore Your Passion. Today, we will discuss about Vigyan Ashram and we have with us Dr. Yogesh Kkulkarni, Executive Director of Vigyan Ashram. Vigyan Ashram was established to study ancient Indian philosophy. It was established by Dr. S. Kalbag in 1983. It is a modern version of old Gurukula system. Vigyan Ashram believes intelligence is developed and not inherited. Vigyan Ashram is based on learning while doing philosophy. So, we would like to know more about Vigyan Ashram. So, sir, how do you believe Vigyan Ashram's philosophy of development through education and education through development has shaped your approach to education?
First of all, thank you for inviting me on your channel. Vigyan Ashram is located in a village, Pabal. It is approximately 60 kilometers from Pune. It's a small place, and Pabal is a drought-prone village. The reason of starting Vigyan Ashram in Pabal because all the problems, whatever you name, right from water, irrigation, electricity, they are present over there. So our idea was, if you are able to do something in village Pabal, then we can take it to any part of the country. So it is like one of the 600,000 villages in our country. Vigyan Ashram is not basically following the ancient system of learning, but what we follow it as a natural way of learning. The natural way of learning is learning while doing. It is the same way in which we all learn our mother tongue. Like a child of 2 years start speaking his mother tongue, but the same child, when it goes to a school, he is not able to learn other language even after 10 years of learning, because he learned his mother tongue by natural way of learning. So at Vigyan Ashram, we try to follow this natural way of learning, that is learning while doing, and we try to bring it into our formal education system. So that is the approach we are following up. If you see, like, whatever in your daily life, whatever you can confidently say, I can do this. Like, okay, I know I can do cooking. You can say, I can do swimming. I can use computers. I can do driving. All these things you learn by learning by doing approach. You never go to basically a school or college or write exam to do many of the things we are used to do. We can confidently say we can do by ourselves, and we will never forget in our life. So that is the importance of this learning by doing. So if you want to do involve the children in this learning by doing approach, then what we can basically give them as an activity. So there is one approach, like, okay, you can give some child some activity and we can engage them in various activity-based learning or project-based learning. But a country like India, which has a resource constraint, we can't afford to make activity just for sake of doing it. We can make something and then just say, okay, the activity is done, now we can throw it. If you go to many kind of colleges or many technical institutes, you will find many of the job works piled up as a scrap over there. So that is of no use. So we don't believe in doing activity for the sake of doing activity, sake of doing something. So then learning by doing is our philosophy. Then what kind of activity group we can give it to our students? So we can involve our students in the development activity of the community. See, there are so much of there is a lack of development around us. So we can give these development activities as a project or as a hands-on learning experience to our students. So on one hand, we can have the development in the community, and on the other hand, the student get better learning. So that is the development through education and education through development philosophy.
And so, what are some of the key challenges you have faced in shifting from traditional classroom model, and how have you worked to overcome those barriers?
First of all, Vigyan Ashram started with this philosophy only, learning by doing. So it is already decided, like based on our past experience of our founder, Dr. Kalbag, we decided to follow this natural way of learning, that is learning by doing. The challenge we face is to basically the teachers who work with us, the instructor, who teach the student who come to Vigyan Ashram. They came from the same method of schooling, like a rote learning method, learning through books, academic training. For those teachers who basically their upbringing happened through a book-centered education, to shape them from the book-centric education to work-centric education method is a challenge. So for us, training of teacher was a challenge, and yes, we evolved a methodology to train them over the period of time.
So, how do you measure the success and impact of Vigyan Ashram's unique educational approach? And what metrics or outcomes are you most proud of?
Vigyan Ashram started in 83 in a small village, Pabal, again 70 kilometers from Pune. We started with the few youth. We call Vigyan Ashram as a laboratory of education, where we do experiments. So the lab, in the laboratory, you always work on the weakest link. In education, the weakest link is the school dropout. Those who are not interested in education, those who have a lot of energy, those create trouble at home. So normally we get this kind of a student at Vigyan Ashram. And these students, when they come to Vigyan Ashram, they learn by this learning by doing approach. And many of them become entrepreneurs. They become innovators. Vigyan Ashram has developed many technologies with the help of these students. So our students are the testimony of the effectiveness of this educational method. So over the year, like thousands of students basically came out of Vigyan Ashram. But I will say the major success of Vigyan Ashram, like Vigyan Ashram is a laboratory of education. So laboratory, you can't make the laboratory big. Lab is a lab. But whatever the learning from the laboratory is there, we are taking it to the formal school system. So regular 8 to 10 standard schools, where like you learn mathematics, science, history, geography, languages. So the same program of Vigyan Ashram, the same methodology, we try to take it to the mainstream education, the formal school system. So it was started as an experiment initially. So in 1987, it was started in 3 schools. In 1990, it went to 14 schools. In 2001, it went to 23 schools. And now the program is running with more than 300 schools in Maharashtra. It is adopted, it's become a part of the core curriculum. It's part of National School Qualification Framework. And even the principles of this program now is a part of the new education policy. So I believe whatever the experiments we did at Vigyan Ashram as a laboratory, we are able to take it to the national level, and many schools are adopting it. So that is the testimony of its success.
Since Vigyan Ashram seems to take very hands-on, immersive approach to learning, how do you ensure that students are developing in both practical skills and critical thinking abilities needed to thrive?
Whenever you do any hands-on learning, what we follow now, it is called as a design thinking approach. We were following it up from long time because what we call is that the student should get involved into a productive work. The productive work means there should be a customer, he should have a requirement, and student will satisfy his need or requirement. So when he work on a real life customer need, then he need to talk to customer, understand his need, develop a solution based on his requirement, provide that solution to him, get the money as a return from him. So this is a complete cycle. So to satisfy the customer, he need to give a various kind of alternative to him. And there basically, this all skills like critical thinking, empathy, trying to understand what is the need of the customer, right? Evaluating whatever solution we propose, evaluating it based on the price point of view, environmental impact, different values, material requirement. So all these are integrated. So when you work with the real life problem, so we follow this approach. Now, recently this approach now got this design thinking methodology name. So in the design thinking, we follow the same thing. First talk to a customer, try to understand his problem, then look for the solution around you, do the literature survey. After literature survey, you show it to a customer, take his feedback, develop the prototype, field test it, again develop, go back, again work on the prototypes, and give him a final solution. So this is what we are following. So yes, critical thinking, creativity is a part of this approach.
Sir, in your experience, how have students responded to this non-conventional style of education? What have been some of the most rewarding aspects of seeing them engage this way?
See, I told you the students who come to Vigyan Ashram, they have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Right. So when we help them to channelize their energy for unproductive work, we can see the transformation in them. So they are more focused. They are basically giving more from them. So those who are basically they were like a troublemaker at home. Now they become a productive one. So that transformation is something which is satisfying, and it happens to every year to hundreds of students who work with Vigyan Ashram. Those who like this academic kind of centric nature of the education, those who reject these students, they become useful and productive. And 90% of our students are school dropouts. 90% of the population are not overcoming the 12th standard barrier or 10th standard. They are not going beyond that. So all these students, we can see this potential to take this education and make these people productive. That is the potential of this idea. So that is more satisfying. Like those who students, the parents once say, oh, this child is making a lot of trouble at home. And maybe after 1 year, they say, okay, now he become someone like we're proud of. I think that is satisfying.
So can you describe your vision for the future of Vigyan Ashram, and how do you plan to continue evolving the institution's educational model to meet the changing needs of students and society?
As I told you, Vigyan Ashram is a laboratory. So we don't want laboratory to grow. Laboratories are always small because they are experimenting, they are piloting. But we need to have a more impact. The impact is basically the country as such. So Vigyan Ashram want basically this learning philosophy to be mainstream into each and every school and in each and every village. Now today, like 90% of the students who are school dropouts, what they are doing in real life, they are basically a farmer, they are technician, they work as a mason, they repair your car, they repair your two-wheelers. So basically they work by hand, they are entrepreneurs. So 90% of our workforce, they are school dropouts. They don't go to engineering colleges or ITI or any technical institute to learn their skill. They learn by this learning while doing method. So this 90% is the mainstream. So if you are able to make this mainstream an effective one, if you take this mainstream to the formal school, so imagine like the students who come out of the system, they become a driving force of our economy. In fact, these are the people, those who are learning by hands, they are contributing major portion of our GDP. If they become productive, then nation can grow much faster. So our vision is, we want every school in this country, they should have modern tools, they should have modern technical equipments, and the students in these schools, they should learn by learning while doing approach. The students in these schools should become the inventor, innovator, entrepreneur at their level. So if entrepreneurship, creativity, the innovations, if started happening from our villages, I think nobody can stop our country to become the leading nation.
Yes, true. So what are some of the key ways Vigyan Ashram ensures that the education it provides is grounded in diverse real-life experiences rather than just textbook learning?
In Vigyan Ashram syllabus, we call the nature is a syllabus. And for convenience, we divided nature into two parts. One is living, another is non-living. Again, under living, we again made two subgroups. One is agriculture, animal husbandry, another is home and health. Under non-living, we again made two subgroups. One is engineering, another is energy and environment. So engineering, energy, environment, agriculture, animal husbandry, and home and health. So these are the 4 areas in which the students are learning. So there are 4 tenets of Vigyan Ashram philosophy. First is learning while doing. Then second is the multi-skill training. Everybody has to learn everything. Everybody has to, whether it's a boy or whether it's a girl, whether he likes or not, he has to do agriculture, he has to do engineering, he has to do energy, he has to do food processing. So everybody has to learn everything. It's like a medical student, he first learns, become a physician. So he learns about about full complete body. And then he decided to become a surgeon or a specialist. Okay, I want to become an eye specialist or a ear specialist or whatever. So the specialization comes after generalization. So we train our students in all these 4 areas of nature. So they become jack of all. And then they decide where to become master. So first, see, many of the problem challenges in the society at ground level, they are of interdisciplinary nature. For example, let's say you are doing a farming. Even if you are doing a farming, you have an electric motor at your on your well, you have a tractor, you want to build a poultry, you want to build a house. So you need to learn, if you have a produce, you got to harvest, you need to do a food processing, take it to the market. So you need a understanding of engineering, electricity, energy, food processing. So everything is interdisciplinary. And many of the innovations, they are happening at the crossroad of these interdisciplinary approaches of different disciplines, crossroad of different disciplines. So yes, this approach what we are following is a multi-skill nature.
Okay. So in your view, what are the most important skills and mindsets that students gain through Vigyan Ashram and experience that prepare them for the real world?
Mainly what they get is the confidence. What they get is that how to learning to learn. See, the information is available on the internet. How to use that information and how to use the information to solve my own problem. I think that is very important. So what Vigyan Ashram students learn is that how to apply the knowledge available, how to search for the knowledge around the world, whom to ask for it, and then basically how to find out alternatives. Like if I look at some kind of YouTube video, somewhere somebody has done it in China, how can I apply the same solutions by using my traditional tools, by using my local material, local resources? So what Vigyan Ashram is trying to make them is that, okay, they are globally connected, but they want to become locally self-sufficient. So that kind of confidence, I will solve my problem, I will make it in my own village, or I can do almost anything. So that confidence our student get.
So how do you envision Vigyan Ashram continuing to evolve and lead the way in redefining what quality education should look like in India?
This is a difficult question because Vigyan Ashram is trying to put one viewpoint. But we need to, the country as big as India, we can't say, okay, this is what we are doing is the right one. So many people, they need to adopt this tech philosophy. They need to contribute to it, to redefine it. Because the problem in the north, let's say the northeast region, they are different. North, or the Kashmir and the Himachal Pradesh, the nature is different. South, the nature is different. Rajasthan, the nature is different. So different part of the country, we need to have many new this kind of experiments like this. So at present, what Vigyan Ashram is trying to take this philosophy by collaborating with various other organizations to other part of the country, so that the refined version will come up. Right. Another challenge is the technology changing very rapidly. So there is artificial intelligence, they are coming into picture. So they are going to impact many of the livelihood opportunities, many jobs, and we need to prepare our students to live into this new with that new technology, the world which is working with AI and all other things. So the Vigyan Ashram need to basically at the one time of like take the cognizance of the whatever is happening at the technology level. Second thing, to understand the need of not only Maharashtrian villages or in the Pabal part of the country, but to the whole country. So that is the challenge basically to evolve this program. So we are trying to work on it, and it's an exciting journey because when there is a challenge, we always say when there is a problem, there is an opportunity. So if artificial intelligence is coming as I will say, as an opportunity also, and it is also a problem also. Problem in terms of, okay, we need to create a new jobs, we need to give them alternative to our students, but how they can use AI not as a tool, but not to get overwhelmed by this technology, but how we can effectively use the AI as their intelligent assistant. So instead of artificial intelligence, I will say, like, how can we make them use it as a good assistant? And yes, there is a lot of things to do. So it's exciting.
So last but not the least, do you want to share anything, a message to our audience or the viewers, anything about Vigyan Ashram or your personal experience or anything related to it?
I will not give as a message, but yes, I do want to invite you. And you can visit our website. It's vigyanashram.com, vigyanashram.online. We also have a blog of our student on the vigyanashram.blog, so you can visit over there. And if possible, do visit us at Vigyan Ashram at Pabal, so you can learn from the approaches we are following. And maybe you can collaborate and you can try to do similar, or you can do much better than what we are doing at your place. And ultimately, basically, we can progress. So I will just invite them to join hands and basically on this exciting journey.
With this, we come to an end. Thank you, sir, for your presence and joining us on this episode of ENTECH Online. Explore your passion. That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.